What's going on, everybody? This is Clyde's Honest Reviews, where I have a strict set of rules that I follow upon reviewing new and old titles alike, and whether or not I would recommend them to the average viewer. What's important to you guys is important to me, and the biggest factor in recommendations in video games boils down to the amount of entertainment I can get for the amount of money that a game costs. Which leads to the major points of my review system: the pros, the cons, the potential, and most importantly, my hours of content to dollar ratio. Why did I make this system? Because I got tired of seeing recommendations for games based off of the story or mechanics alone. Don't get me wrong, a great story or mechanics will go a very, very long way. But if the game is only fun for 10 hours, or I can complete every achievement and 100% the game within 30 hours, I shouldn't be paying $60 for it. What's going on, everybody? This is Clydian Fayre, and first and foremost, I want to welcome you all to the channel. I'm going to put the rest of the fluff and stuff off to the side and dig right into it, since that's what you're here for. Do you want to be a bug boy and spit acidic acid on skellybobs and rats? Well, do I have a game for you? Barony is a first-person roguelike dungeon crawling game with some retro graphics. It's blocky, it's pixelated, it's timeless. Due to the decision to go with this art style, it really doesn't become outdated and feel gross. In order to get the full experience of this game, I do recommend grabbing all the DLC for it, which at the time of this video brings the total cost up to roughly $23. This game is playable solo, but it really shines when you play it with friends. Players are able to party up and dive into a dungeon as different classes and races, each with their own unique starting equipment and racial abilities. So you can truly become that bug boy of your dreams. If you're feeling frisky, you can also play as a succubus or incubus, whichever rocks your boat. Besides the assortment of races and classes, this game offers fairly difficult combat. It isn't necessarily fast-paced, but due to movement speed malices from inventory weight and stats, it is fairly easy to get chased down by most enemies, especially early on. This can be incredibly frustrating to newer players, especially since the game doesn't have an amazing tutorial explaining controls or mechanics. But then again, isn't that the point of a roguelike? Besides the monsters, there are various traps and puzzles that players can spend time navigating. If you aren't careful where you're walking, you may just find yourself in an Indiana Jones movie. Nothing has made me laugh harder in this game than watching friends and foes alike become the victim of a trap in front of my eyes. Secret floors are found upon solving puzzles and having access to unique items or spells at the right times. These hidden levels are the locations where you can find very powerful artifact gear that will help you survive the dive into the dungeon. The saving grace of Barony is the player's ability to cheese skill levels, and the fact that the game itself doesn't take itself too seriously. The developers behind the game implemented plenty of pop culture references as well, especially if you find a particular mace. This quirky game has a ton of replayability, but that should be obvious since it is a roguelike. Each dungeon run is unique, and there are plenty of combinations of races and classes to experiment with, not to mention the vast amount of spells you're able to learn and teach each class. My biggest gripe with Barony is the lack of progression between runs. The only incentive to replay the game is to experience new classes and race combinations, and have fun with friends, which is a good reason, but at the end of a run, there isn't a reward or any sort of progression system that would help players feel like they're getting stronger in the game. The only true progression there is in this game is unlocking universal classes that are originally race specific and, you know, the player learning the mechanics of the game. So, what's the ultimate consensus on Barony? It's a quirky and fun game with timeless graphics. If you're able to get past some of the clunkiness of the movement and attack animations in the early game, you'll soon find yourself speeding through the maps, blasting things with magic or covering them with acidic vomit. So yeah, I get it, Clyde. What does it all mean? Let's break it down then. The pros: timeless graphics, unforgiving and very punishing, quirky. The cons: early game is the most dangerous part of the game, and the overall game loop leaves some things wanting. I'd ideally like to see more intro-run progression systems implemented, but I understand that that's probably not going to happen. Time to cost. Here it is, the main factor, the bottom line, the ultimate truth. Your hour to dollar ratio. I personally have just shy of 100 hours in Barony. And while the game doesn't have the same charm that it had when I first started playing it, I still pick it up from time to time with friends. And I also have yet to play every class and race combination. Now, that isn't necessarily due to time constraints. It's mostly due to the fact that I just really enjoy playing as a vampire ninja. Knowing this and the overall cost of the game and its DLC, you're looking at just over 4 hours of entertainment per dollar spent, which earns it a solid recommendation from me. So if you're in the market for a dungeon crawling roguelite, I'd pick it up right now. If you're not, keep your eyes open on it on Humble Bundle on Steam and wait for a sale. So add it to your watch list or your wish list. I'd like to thank you all for sticking around for the video. And if you enjoyed or appreciated this content and would like to see more videos such as this, please like the video, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a good one.